who have a brain should be able to figure out that there's no left or right. They're all like the same level. I mean, there's no more ideology. These guys are in it for themselves, and you can just even tell. I mean, if you see the sponsors of the whole conference, I mean, it's Power Corporation, National Post, Rio Tinto. I mean, Power Corporation is they're run by the Desmarais family, and they're as Labrier was saying, are a big Bilderberg family, and that corporation also it's like a training ground for politicians to go through, and they end up being in politics, and even after politics, they end up working for that same corporation, like the Prime Minister of former Prime Minister Brian Mulroney, Liberal Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, Paul Martin, Liberal Prime Minister. So it's like I said, they have their own. This is like their organization to springboard them into politics, and even after when they leave politics. So
in other words, it's a way to get them into local politics as a journalist, and then when they want to leave politics or whatever, they can go back and write op-ed pieces for these people or be commentators. It's basically just like an arm of Fox, I guess. Probably not a News Corp, but, just that they're sponsoring this, adapting to a new world order. They're, one of the media that, is behind this thing is simply disgusting. I thank you for the call. Let's go to John in Canada. John, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
Hey, Jason. Yeah, the National Post in Canada, it's like our Fox News. A couple of years ago, they did a front-page story on how great it is to drug our children with Ritalin, and they'd interview, 10-year-old children who would say, I just love my Ritalin. I don't know what I'd do without it. So that's the evidence that they used to formally convince ourselves of why it was good to drug our children. So as Canadian Fox News people, they're deeply ignorant, stupid, and evil. But anyway, the reason I called, a couple of years ago, we had a member of the legislature in the Parliament of Ottawa who put forward a bill, and he said, look, I'm looking at the science of cigarette companies, and they're literally putting some of the most deadly carcinogens known to man purposefully in the cigarette for no other reason than I can figure but to kill ourselves. It's not a property of the tobacco processing, and it's got nothing to do with nicotine. It's to kill us. So he put forward a bill, and he said, all I want to do with this bill in Canada is to ban all cigarette companies from selling cigarettes in Canada that have these most deadly carcinogens here only to hurt our families, okay? Now, he could find nobody in Ottawa to support him. The Chorus News Network, which is our only radio network in Canada, we got 30 million people. We've got one radio network, and they're demons. They're evil. They want to torture defenseless innocent families to death like those victims in Guantanamo, who we know has been formally disclosed as completely innocent individuals. It's the act of kidnapping and warrants a life-term prison sentence to the soldiers who obey blindly as enemies of the state. That's the nature of this. These guys who put forward this bill, or this one individual put forward the bill in Canada, it got nothing to do with the Bilderberg. It's got to do with people who have criminal intent who rob us all over the place. There's all kinds of criminals. Some of the people at Bilderberg most undoubtedly are criminals, but to blame Bilderberg undermines our authority. We can get justice on our side if we form probable cause for criminal offenses that have occurred in our name. Even if the cop is a bad guy and he really wants to serve the neocon agenda, his job description requires that he support arresting people by following the crime scene leads to the real murder scene. He might lie and cheat us, but if you're going to speak in public, we can. And there's a lot of good cops out there. That's the thing we can't forget. There's lots of good cops out there. You put forward the case and say, listen, whether Bilderberg was involved or not in consulting Bush to close investigations negates the fact that Bush closed criminal investigations on 9/11 immediately after the crime occurred.
An expansion of that just today, and I thank you for the call just because I hear the echo, man. I gotta let you go. Just today, they were trying to pass this new bill where the government would be exempt from showing any photographs or video from anything that took place on September 11th, 2001, all the way to January 1st, 2009, or it might even been 2010, that they're still, retroactive immunity is already here. The Bush administration illegally declared that when they got caught spying on the American public through their telecommunications companies, through their internet, through their cell phone usage. And on June 4th, just 5 days ago, the courts upheld the ruling and said, yes, Yes, AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, all of them can spy on you on behalf of the government, and you have no recourse. You're not allowed to bring this lawsuit out. Where's the mainstream media on this? Why isn't this being reported? Why did I have to go to the San Francisco paper, to see one mainline article in a local newspaper? Why is this not on the front page of USA Today? Why are we not holding this administration's feet to the fire? Why are we letting them expand on the executive powers that they possess? Expand on saying national security. Everything's about national security. Before I forget, I really wanted to hit this story up. Google founder's mentor found dead in swimming pool. U.S. computer science professor who played a key role in the creation of the internet search giant Google has been found dead at the age of 47 after apparently falling into his swimming pool. Seems a little suspicious to me, folks. I don't know how many 47-year-old guys you know that fall into a swimming pool and drown, but I think it's few and far between. Rajiv Mathwani was mentor to Google founder Larry Page and Sergey Brin when they were PhD students at Stanford University. His body was found in the pool of his home in Atherton, California on Friday. A spokesman for the university said the cause of death was unclear. Brin said he could not swim, but was planning to learn. Look, folks, if I can't swim and I'm in my pool in my backyard, I'm going to make it to the edge somehow, some way. I'm going to get to that edge and I'm going to climb out. Very suspicious. Somebody in on the founding of Google, all of a sudden dead at 47 in his swimming pool. Doesn't add up. We'll be back after this. It's the Infowarrior, PrisonPlanet.tv, Infowars.com. Yeah! Folks, I just want to remind everybody out there, we've got it in. It's Aaron Russo's Reflections and Warnings. It's over at Infowars.com right now. We had Joe Bannister on the program yesterday. He's featured in, of course, Aaron Russo Pictures, America, Freedom to Fascism. If you want to go check out the interview with Joe Bannister, I have a couple of the segments posted at the Infowarrior.com. It's got a fresh new look from Friday, and over the weekend it got a little bit more updated. If you miss any of the show, we offer the podcast on the right-hand side. I got some email. People don't understand. You hit the podcast button, and then it takes you to a link, okay? And then at that link is the day before's show posted, and every day they update that. On the left-hand side, we have an archive of 3 or so months, so you can literally go back to almost any program and listen to it in its entirety. We try to post the most relevant of YouTube clips over on the left-hand side. The Listen Live button allows you to listen to the InfoWars stream anytime. You can go to gcnlive.com and listen to me on demand for 24 hours. If you missed this show or parts of this show and you just can't wait till tomorrow for the podcast, please support us. PrisonPlanet.tv is $6 a month. Folks, it's less than your average value meal. And you get 5 hours of video, 7 hours of radio a day live. You get to see the commercials and shows that I'm talking about, the ones they're using to brainwash a populace. You actually get to experience the show. It's so much cooler than just listening. I mean, obviously, it's great. You got your iPod, you got your Zune, you got your little MP3 player, and you're listening to this while you're running or you're in the car. But we are a 9 to midnight show Central Time, 5 nights a week. It's not that bad to just, cuddle up and watch this. This is a real news program. This beats out what Bill O'Reilly has to say or the repeat of Glenn Beck. That's propaganda. We're bringing you the raw news stories. We're telling you about this conference adapting to a new world order when no one else is talking about it. We talk about the Bilderberg Group as if it's a reality, because it is. That's why Alex Jones has this picture right here, Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement, where you see Rockefeller and Kissinger rubbing elbows with Greenspan, with Bernanke, with former governor of New York, George Pataki, and many, many others. You see Queen Beatrix. You see that there is an agenda here. Remember, first it didn't exist, then it was a golf club, and now it's a think tank. Well, in essence, it is a think tank. But it's a think tank from the top down, where the elite impose their agenda on smaller entities, which aren't that much smaller at all. They're large corporate entities, but smaller people in their mind. Remember, they're about social Darwinism. And if you don't have a copy of Endgame Blueprint for Global Enslavement, what are you waiting for? You don't even need to own it. You can go get the link over at Google Video right now for free, over at YouTube for free, and share it with your friends and family. This is about fighting the info war. I want to remind people also, in about 2 days, we are going to be starting this InfoWars money bomb. We desperately do need your support. I've seen some comments. They're spending the money on Bermas' teeth. No, Jones's dad is a doctor or a dentist, and this was done on the cheap. Believe me, no money bomb money went to my grill. What the money bomb money will go to is a new studio, perhaps a weekend news program, an expansion, more films in fighting the info war. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, the rebroadcast of Alex Jones starts right after this, only at Infowars.com.